The Gallagher Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel and podcast. And it is another special from myself and Deka, spontaneous podcast. And we're just basking in the glory of the League Cup victory. We're going to be doing it for a long time, so get used to it. But there are a few people that have a bit of an issue with this, Deka. So we thought we're going to jump in because there's been a bit of a fallout from the back of the result on Sunday, and not amongst Newcastle United fans. Newcastle United fans still absolutely buzzing, can't get enough of the content about this. But obviously, the rest of the media has jumped on it, likes of certain things to do with Sky Sports, and we've seen a couple of fan channels and podcasts taking the piss out of Newcastle United fans for celebrating this League Cup win in the way that we have done. So I'm going to address the first thing, which most people have jumped on. Okay, there has been a few other instances, but we're going to go with the first one, and it's Paul Scholes. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, on the overlap, the fan debate one, I think it's classed as these days. Paul Scholes is there with Jamie Carragher, and the Newcastle United representative from a fan's point of view is Lee Lawler from Newcastle Fans TV. He's been on a few times. He was there when I was there a couple of seasons back, and Paul Scholes was there that time as well. There's a nice little conversation between Lee, Jamie, and Paul Scholes about how well Newcastle played on Sunday. That they take nothing away from Newcastle to a certain extent. As always, the conversation has to sway towards how bad Liverpool was. Liverpool were missing players, blah, 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 whatever. When we knew that was coming. But Lee goes on to mention and asks Carragher and Scholes if Eddie Howe deserves a statue at St. James's Park. He doesn't say immediately, he doesn't do anything else because he doesn't get a chance to do so because the absolutely pig-headed tossers in there just don't give Lee a chance to explain his reasoning behind it. And Deka Scholes, he jumps straight in and laughs and says, "It's only the fucking League Cup." What's your thoughts on it, mate?
It's just so disrespectful, man. Like, it's just, do you know, like, I was so annoyed because I paused it actually, and I think I put it in our group straight away going, hang on, has anyone watched this here? And he also then backs that up with like we used to rest players, and it was a chance to rest players. Like some teams aren't even playing.
Most teams try to get knocked out. That's what he says.
Exactly, yeah. And I just thought it was so disrespectful when like the same people, pundits wise, they'll say like, "Oh, you remember the glamour of the cup and stuff like that." And I remember back when I used to play, the FA Cup was this or the League Cup was that, etc. And then criticise teams sometimes for resting players because they'll say, some clubs will say this is their opportunity to win something and they should be going all out. It's still a trophy. And then all of a sudden the next breath is, oh, well, it's only the fucking League Cup. It doesn't matter. It was just so disrespectful. Like what I really didn't like is he said that comment and I had a feeling that everyone in the audience almost just jumped on that sentiment and almost just laughed along with him and almost had the same opinion, which I thought was, there's half of them sitting in that room there that would love to have won a trophy. So that it did piss us off. And I did feel sorry for Lee, if I'm honest, because he was just, offering an opinion and also asking an honest question, which I think our fans have all kind of said, right? Like, will he get his own statue? If Robson's got one, like, surely he'll get one. Do you know what I mean? That makes sense.
Well, that's how Lee asked the question. Really, he says that like so Keegan was Bobby Robson or Adora at Newcastle, and neither of those won anything for Newcastle in regards to a major trophy. Then it leads to the conversation about Eddie Howe and Lee being mocked by everybody. It sounded like in the room, which and I'm with you. The kid that's a Manchester fan, Adam Colo, I think he's called. Just jumped straight in, and he's been doing the rounds on social media as well, but I'll get to that in a minute. But he jumps straight in and he says, "We sack managers for winning the League Cup." No, you don't fucking sack managers for winning the League Cup. You sack managers because you shit for a long period of time with that manager. You don't sack them for winning the League Cup. So get over yourself in that way of thinking. It was absolutely embarrassing comment. And I thought it was unbelievably embarrassing by everybody else, how nobody jumped in and tried to defend what it meant. And Lee wasn't even given the opportunity to explain what his reason was behind that. Yes, you might mock the fact that it is just the League Cup, as everybody's putting it, but we've been waiting a long time for this, and success is monitored in different levels with different clubs. Basically, if Adam goes on and mentions that fans get used to it, and maybe that's why Newcastle United fans are celebrating as much as well. He's probably correct to a certain aspect of that. We mentioned on Monday night about the novelty may wear off after a period of success. Of course it might, but this is the first time that we've won something in 70 years, Deka. And those people at Wembley there, that honestly, like, probably not many years left, and they managed to witness that. And it just seems like they couldn't wait, the likes of the people in that room, they couldn't wait to mock that and mock the fact that, oh, Newcastle are celebrating, like they're going on as if they won the league. Like, just let us have our moment. Just let us just enjoy it. And like I said at the start, bask in this glory that we're being absolutely starved of for so long. And I think we need to switch it around to a couple of things. And I've seen a couple of things online where people have quoted the clip that we're seeing of Paul Scholes mocking the fact that there's suggestions of Eddie Howe getting a statue. And there's a couple of other things online where it just seems like people are this is probably what social media is like these days, and this is what really pisses off. And it gives the likes of people like us that do Gallagher shots, and there's other podcasts and fan channels out there that do very similar things to what we do, but you get tarred with the whole YouTuber thing. I think there's a difference now between what some people do on YouTube, like ourselves, and what some people do on YouTube, along with creating drama online and basically fishing for any sort of engagement that they can get to piss a fan base off. And we've seen that a lot in the last 24 hours.
Yes, I agree. There's a lot to unpack there with what you've said. I think I was really annoyed that there wasn't a fan that, for example, I'm going to say the Spurs guy who was sitting to the left, right? So Spurs haven't won anything for, God, I can't even tell you the last time, right? It's not as long as us, but it's a long time. You've got an Everton fan sitting there as well, he's always normally quite vocal on the show. And all of them were laughing along, and I'm thinking, like the Spurs guy only a few weeks ago on the same show says, God, we would love a cup run. We would love to go deep in a cup. We're not bothered what cup it was. You know what I mean? And I found that just so disrespectful, as I say. And listen, Scholes is, I get it right. Scholes has won a lot. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. I get it right. But to the point what you've just said about almost couldn't wait to. So they said nice things about her. Oh, it's really, really good. It's been 70 years, but really couldn't wait to get a jab in. Really, that's what it felt like to me. And to go back onto your next point is, I think there is a few people out there that do that, where it's like they'll have themselves as, let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to use a random club, so don't take it personally, but let's say Chelsea, right? And yes, all right, that channel or that person will talk about Chelsea, but really, he's just out there to be controversial and try and be funny and try and have a go at another fan or another fan base in order to get sort of engagement. And that's not some of that we've ever done. God, we just talk about us, right? Like, really, that's all we're really interested in, you know. And it was just really, and I honestly, and I'll say it again, right? Just felt sorry for Lee, because I felt after that, they were talking about a new stadium. I think it was for Man United, which I didn't think Lee probably wanted to get involved in. Maybe thought he couldn't. There was then a mention around Trafford signing. I think the Chelsea fan was on about Trafford. Oh no, the Man City fan, sorry, was on about Trafford. And Lee again tried to get engaged, just wasn't allowed to almost. And I don't know. I just felt the whole sentiment of the show was wrong, and I did feel for him, to be honest.
It's taken a strange turn, the likes of the overlap, because you've got so many different parts of the overlap now. You've got the one with the likes of Neville, Keane, Wrighty, Jill Scott, then football, obviously, you got to stick to football, and you've got the fan debate one. When the debate first started, like I didn't mind it to be fair, because me, Bestie, and Adam went to the first one they recorded, if I remember right. It was the one where we on that day that we did the recording, we signed Andy Carroll on that day. That's how long ago it was. Then we've done it a couple of times since, and we've turned it down a couple of times since as well, to be fair. But the last time I was there, and once again I was there now, it was Lee Lawler again from that was just on the most recent one with Scholesy. And Scholes was there the last time that I was there, and it was when Bruce was going through that horrible little patch. To be fair, he never had a good patch, but he was going through that little patch. And me and Lee addressed it and said that, like, Bruce needs to go, so he needs to go. And they were saying, well, who would you realistically like to come in? And what, just like, I think it was me that said it. I said somebody like Graham Potter or Eddie Howe, and they couldn't wait to mock with. They started laughing straight away at that suggestion, and then they went on and said, "Oh, like." I went, oh, we're just going to end up getting relegated under Steve Bruce and blah, 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 blah. As you want to win trophies, and you say, oh, you might win some trophies in the championship or something like that. And it was Scholesy again. Just honestly, he's just got such a chip on his shoulder, and it really pissed us off. And if you remember, right, there was a bit of an argument between me and Scholesy just going back and forwards at that point.
That's right. Yeah.
Which they cut down quite heavily, because that went on for about a good 15 minutes. And I know just how hard it is from personal experience to get involved in some of the conversations, because it's quite a close shop when it comes to the overlap. It seems to be the same fans from the same clubs on it. And a lot of those are the higher profile names on there, those that are out there trying to cause drama and then like basically form an engagement and stuff like that, and just being a bit of a tit online. And it seems like when you get all those in one room, you've just got all those personalities that are quite self-obsessed with themselves, and it just pisses us off now. And I'm the same as you. It really pissed us off that they didn't give Lee the opportunity to explain what he was meaning from that, and they just constantly went on him like honestly, like a school of piranhas. They're straight in there going, right, we'll all attack at the same time. I just wanted one person to go, shut your fucking mouth and listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you, mate. And it's it's hard because I don't really have much else to add, because you've nailed it, really, to be honest. Like, that's honestly how I felt. I think I put it straight in the group, right? I was like, have any of you watched this here? Because I was absolutely fuming. And listen, I get from like some other people on social media, like fans and that might say like, oh, well, it's just the League Cup, right? And I get it, right? Like, they're just having a bit of a jab. But I just thought I'd do it in that. And to be fair, even the title of the show, right? The sort of the thumbnail, the actual title of the show is...
it was like something like Statue of Eddie Howe or something like that,
yeah,
wasn't it?
The Statue of Eddie Howe, which they're obviously highlighting that part of the show, you know what I mean? And
I had to take the piss out again, Deka. That's what
exactly.
it is.
That's what I mean, yeah. Yeah, exactly that, yeah. And that's what I took from it. And I even thought, you know, Carragher, I know Scholes said that, Carragher didn't get involved in any way to explain what you've said. That, well, listen, it has been 70 years. Like, we've lauded the likes of Kevin Keegan, rightfully so, by the way. We've lauded the likes of Bobby Robson, and then weren't able to get over the line. And they talk about that a lot, as well as not being good enough to get over the line. Let's look at how hard it is to win the League Cup, right? Listen, I'll probably be wrong, but I'm sure Man City won that five or 6 years in a row. Like, do you know what I mean? So it was always, it's so difficult to win a trophy and pull one away from one of the bigger clubs. It always is. And to be ridiculed for that almost and taking the piss out of, it's uncalled for. Like, it really is.
I think with football fans now, especially when it comes to podcasters, YouTubers, I think it like I was mentioning earlier, it splits two ways. You've got the ones like ourselves, and there's many more Newcastle ones out there that do these sort of things just because they enjoy doing it. They like talking about their football club. Then you do the other ones, which it pains us to say this, but they tend to be the more successful channels that just drive that engagement and they want that interaction for being a bit of a cock. And like, I'm just gonna see every name under the sun, yeah, because it really gets me back up. Man, it really gets me back up. Do you know what it is? It really does, because the amount of hard work that people put into things like this, just as genuine fans, then yes, it's great in doing it, but then you see somebody else that is just causing issues amongst other fan bases, getting more interaction and getting more views on videos. Like, you're making a living off this. Like, how is that possible that you're making a living off being a complete and utter bellend Like, and you're getting invited to these sort of events and things like that. You're getting free tickets to Wembley to go and see things. And like, how is that even possible? Like, how are people enjoying watching your shit? And it's just, maybe it's just me getting old, Deka. Maybe it is just me getting old, and the world's passing us by when it comes to likes of YouTube and social media.
I think it's because I'm with you, right? And maybe it's because I'm old, right? I'm not as old as Mark, but I think it is about engagement, isn't it? And it does annoy us though when the likes of Sky, for example, or the Overlap Show, or whatever it may be, are looking at that and thinking, actually, this fan here really is just winding people up all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like he's really just looking to have a pop at people all the time. But we'll get them on. It's fine. Now I wanted to ask you because I think you said something before about the Man United fan. Forgive us, I don't know the guy's name or anything, but he kind of said, "Well, we sack managers for that," and really made a big joke of it. Were you saying something that there's more or something on social media, or was I wrong there?
Yeah, there's been a couple of things from on social media talking about how embarrassing it was from Newcastle and to celebrate the way what we have and basically calling him plastic because he's been getting a bit of grief because he's from Birmingham, support Man United. Shock. He's been getting a bit of grief and saying, "Oh, now that you've got your Saudi sugar daddy along, he's obviously basically thinking he's on mint because he's won something now." It's just that sort of thing. But once again, it's probably not even his opinion. It's probably not even his honest opinion. He just knows that he's going to get interaction from it, and that's what really pisses off. That people bite, like and quote tweet and things. And I know I've bit on this. Like I know I have, right? I know I've gone for it, but I'm not doing it by quote tweeting and interacting that way and just causing more people to basically interact at that moment in time. I don't know. It's just really annoyed, like really annoyed us. It's took nothing away from obviously what's happened at the weekend. Like I'm enjoying it a bit more. Like the fact that people are pissed off that we're happy. It just makes it a little bit sweeter, to be fair. But
we'll just wait till the 29th of March when we'll get busy. Whatever the plans the clubs have got for that. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to piss even more people off. And do you know what it is? I'm all for it. Like, and again, I will say it again. Like it's the likes of the clubs that are having a go at with. And this is away from this Man United guy that you were talking about, but there's a lot of clubs out there that would absolutely love to win something. They really would. And I honestly actually believe that there'll be people in that room probably did want to say something, but they thought, it's actually, I didn't want to then myself to be the person getting targeted as well. Do you know what I mean? But I think to go back to what you said at the very start, it was like, by all means, you've had your job, right? You've said it's only the fucking League Cup. And then maybe Carragher or someone said, well, why? So, okay, then Lee, you've asked us it. Our opinions maybe not yet. What's your reasons as to why you think it is? And then Lee's well within his rights then to explain all the valid reasons that we've got. Do you know what I mean?
So what's your thoughts? Because I know we touched on it. I think we spoke about this on the call on the drive home, Deka, about the possibility of a statue. My personal opinion, I think, I don't know. I think a statue may be a bit too much right now. It would just feel weird having a current manager with a statue, if you know what I mean, because things could still turn sour. Like we don't know what the future holds. And yes, you'll never ever take that moment away from Eddie Howe winning the first trophy in 70 odd years, but we don't know what the future holds. So I think it may be a bit too premature to look at an option of a statue. What's your thoughts on it?
I'm kind of with you as well. I am. I think if you in a way, the answer is yes. He deserves one. Yeah. That if I just look at it straight on the line, right? But I agree that I would find it quite weird going to the game, seeing a statue of someone, and he's still the manager of the club. If that makes sense. If we move stadium, I'm still in the same opinion. So, like, if we move stadium and everything's fresh and new, I mean, they'll probably move the Robson one along and situate that somewhere else, I would imagine. Yeah. But I would still feel the same way. Would I be against some kind of, how do I say it? Not memorial, is it? But like like something, if it was the new stadium and they had something about the winning the cup, and that's not just Howe for himself, I mean, but as maybe a team or a massive photo or something. I don't know. That would be fine.
Well, there were suggestions in our WhatsApp that the fact that Wembley's got Wembley Way, that if we had some sort of run up to whatever the new stadium may be, then you could call that something like Howe Way Wait,
Howe is class.
Howe
Right?
the lads.
Yeah. There's a pub
Something
on
like
the
that.
corner, right? Had a flag in the window of Eddie Howe, and it was that. It was like Howe the lads type of thing, but it was done in the. And yeah, that could work definitely. What I will say then is, if Howe, let's hope this never happens, right? But let's say the day comes and Eddie goes to Manage England, right? I think then, bang, like straight, no problem, you do it, and you list all the achievements, and you have one of them holding the cup, whatever you want to do. I definitely think then. I just think now, and this is, and I'm also going to say this is nothing to do because it's the Carabao Cup, by the way. This could have been the Champions League, right? This could have been the Premier League, and I don't think you do a statue yet. Do you know what I mean? And if we do win all of them things, I want a statue with each one of the. So hopefully got 10 statues of them.
Just the same one of Eddie, but different cup in his hand.
I would have that, but yeah, I just think it's maybe too soon. For the main reason because he's still here. But I personally believe, even if he doesn't win anything again, by the way, he gets one. No matter if we don't win anything else, he gets one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a two-part question, really, isn't it? If Eddie Howe was to leave Newcastle United tomorrow, then you go right instantly, start you, get it done, get it there right now. But like I don't know, I would find it very strange to I was very, very similar to what you said, to walk into the ground where there's a statue of the current manager outside, and people might completely disagree what we've said there. People might say, well, it makes no difference. It's just I know how sour it can turn quickly. Just look at Robson. Like it turned sour with Robson that season that you did get sacked. So we can see how fast things change in football.
And let's be fair, right? It wasn't so long ago that there was fans questioning Eddie this season, right? Do you know what I mean? Like for performances and whatever it may have been, a bit of bad run of form, and there were certain fans having a go. So yes, I mean if for me it has to be afterwards, after his stint here, however long that may be. Let's hope it's 20 years down the line, right? Of course I want that, but I definitely think afterwards, and I think that would be lovely.
I'm in full agreement with you, mate. It'd be interesting to hear what everybody else thinks as well. So if you've got a different opinion to myself and Deka, just leave it in the comments because we do reading through all that stuff as well.
It's like Mark, if you're going about the name of a stand, right? Mark's got such a different, and I know it's not a statue, but a stand, right?
Yeah.
I've always said I have the Kevin Keegan stand, but he says no, he's still alive. So Mark's that opinion. You've got to die to get a stand named after you. So
yeah, he does. Yeah. So Mark was you can be alive to get a statue, but dead to be a stand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm sure it was.
But it's each to their own. It's like to be fair, there's probably not a right or a wrong answer. It's personal preference. It really is. I don't think the fact that we're sitting here and saying not yet to build a statue has nothing to do with everything that's happened in the last couple of days. We're just saying, well, let's see what else happens under Eddie Howe. But at the end of it, no matter what, yes, then do the statue. Just not right now.
Yeah, I certainly don't want it. I'm not taking it away from the achievement of this weekend. That is not why I'm saying he shouldn't get a statue. That's not it. I think some people may say, and again, this is not saying this is right either. The Howe thing about walking the Howe, I feel like I feel in a similar boat as a statue that you can't call it that when he's still here. And that sounds weird, but I don't know why. But some people go, well, that actually means nothing. It's just a road, right? Like,
yeah, just a road.
Like Alan Shearer's got one in Blackburn, right? It's called Alan Shearer Way, right? At the pub that when you go to away games, the pub's on the corner. I'm sure that's called Alan Shearer Way. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I get it. But he will get one. He will get one at some point.
100%. He's definitely going to get something. Of course he is. Anything else you would like to add, Deka? I feel as if I calmed down a little bit now than what I was at the very start of this.
Yeah, mate. It was a therapy session for you. Because I was obviously really annoyed about it, and I think I messaged you straight away and said, "This is not on. Like, this is really annoyed us." And then, obviously, I knew we were going to do this today, and I've seen how riled you were by it. You know what I mean? Which is fine, and a lot of fans would be as well. A lot of fans, I'm sure Lee, bless him, I bet he was pissed off as well. Because he was the one sitting there. So it is difficult, like.
It is.
But they're all pricks anyway. They're just jealous. They were gone. What the hell, lads?
Pricks anyway. Thanks everybody who has joined us. As always, this will be going out for members only, first of all. So you will get early access to this one. So if you are watching back and you're enjoying this sort of thing, become a member. You'll get early access to all these extra things that myself and Deka have been doing recently. And obviously me and Mark did one as well last week. But yeah, plenty more stuff to come, plenty more entertainment when it comes to Newcastle United being cup winners. I'm never going to get bored of seeing that. Never. Sat here drinking Carabao as we speak.
Even though we didn't even like the taste for
obviously my piss is going to be green by the end of this week.
Brilliant.
And there's plenty more stuff coming as well. I think there is a possibly a live Caddy Chat. I don't know. I'm sure I saw a live one. If not, it will be pre-recorded. It will be available for everybody as well, which is with Scott, Ian, and I'm not sure who else is on there, but it will be those two, along with whoever else they get on tonight. And yeah, plenty more stuff to come. Plenty more content coming your way. Thanks very much. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. All we ask for. Keep swinging that scarf, Deka, till the day you die, mate. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Ta-ra.